wait a minute. All right. Hello. I'm going to put myself up here in the corner and just jump right into this. I'm thinking about calling this one Omnipresence because this is the first page of a website that I developed many years ago. It's been up there for, I don't know, 15 or 20 years. It's a web page at fossilizedcustoms.com/omnipresence.html. See, it's right up there. Omnipresence of Yahushua HaMashiach. This is a little Hebrew research into the scriptures. And I'm just going to kind of go down the page here. Some of the things that are mentioned in scripture are right here. And I'm just going to kind of pause and go through it. And you can read this later on. Because this web page may never exist after today. I don't know. But I hope it exists for many more years. This is an interesting quote right here. The Ruach HaKodesh and the Spirit of Yahusha inspired Luke to write this in Acts chapter 20. Therefore take heed to yourselves and to all the flock among which the set-apart Spirit has made you overseers, to shepherd the assembly of Elohim, which he has purchased with his own blood. Acts 20, verse 28. The Ruach HaKodesh has blood? Well, you can read this and it'll explain it to you. This is another very important one. Matthew 11, verse 27. All have been handed over to me by my Father, and no one knows the Son except the Father, nor does anyone know the Father except the Son, and he to whom the Son wishes to reveal him. So only Yahushua can reveal the Father to you. Actually, they're one and the same. They are one. He said, I and the Father are one. And this is what makes him so different. I'm slowing this down so you can read the words later. See, Yahushua is the bodily presence and essence of Yahuwah himself. No other creature is like him. He said, destroy this temple, and in 3 days, I will raise it up. Galatians 1:1 is an important one. The Father raised Yahushua from the dead. Titus 1 says that Elohim is our deliverer, just as the name Yashayahu means. And chapter 43 tells us there's no one beside him. There's no one coming before him or before or after. He's it. And you need to read these texts because most of this is all scripture. And for him, all the fullness of deity dwells in bodily form. And in him, you have been made complete. Who is Yahushua? That's the big question. No one knows unless he reveals it to you. If Yahushua is not in you, you're not his. You don't belong to him. He is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. Yehukanan 14:6. Now, if you'd known me, you'd also known my Father. From now on, you know him and have seen him. How long have I been with you, Philip, and you have not come to know me? That is so amazing. He came to reconcile himself to us. And there's arguments that people get in. But I'm about halfway done with this page. So if you want to stop the thing and pause it, you can read the words that are on this page. It's just as if you were at the site. If the site still exists, go there. because I won't be here all the time. See, I'll stop breathing one day, and this web page may not exist one day, but you can still see this if you have it. He is the image of the invisible Elohim. Talking about Yahushua. That's Colossians chapter 1. And all things were created by him and for him. See, I'm just pausing it. Now, let's move into another part of this video. Is Yahushua Elohim? How many reading this would agree, since he said he is Al Shaddai at Revelation 1:8? He said, I am Al Shaddai. And at Yehukanan 8, or John 8:59, they picked up stones because they understood what he was speaking about, being older than Abraham. The Mashiach is the manifestation of Yahuwah. That's from Colossians 1:15. The exact representation of him bodily. Every knee will bow to his name. Malachim, or angels, they don't bow to each other, but they worship Yahusha. They said any person that knelt in front of the messenger was told rapidly, get up on your feet, don't bow to me, worship Elohim. And the text of Scripture says that Yahusha is Elohim, and they worship him. Only one can be worshipped and served. Only one can reveal the identity of Yahusha to us personally. I can't explain it to you. He's got to do it from inside. All things have been entrusted to me by my Father. No one knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son, and those to whom the Son chooses to reveal him. No one is prepared for the day when Yahusha appears in the Shamayim to return to his treasured possession. His inheritance will know him, and his love for us will overshadow any dashed expectations with things no eye has seen or has entered into any human mind before. All things were created by him and for him. And here's plenty more. That's the webpage that I just showed you on Fossilized Customs. Now, the Shroud of Turin thing, we talked about that in a previous video, but I want to bring up something else that we didn't mention. The Shroud of Turin is being investigated continually, but it's been intensely looked at since NASA and JPL, or the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, got involved. But wait, that's a lie. They were never involved. There was one scientist on the Shroud of Turin research project, that's what STURP means, that had used a piece of equipment. That's all. He used one piece of imaging technology. But JPL and NASA weren't involved. Those are lies. Now at John, or Yehukanan, 19 verse 39 through 40, we see this. There was mention of Yahusha's body being prepared by two rich guys, according to traditional Yahudim procedures. The Shroud of Turin doesn't have any evidence of that. They just have this bloody body plopped, maybe with human blood, but it's just plopped on this out of context piece of linen. And it's if you look at it, it's around 3 feet wide and 14 feet long. And the head is in the center of this long strip, and you see the front and the back of some body, But it's nothing like what's described in the Scriptures. It wasn't rolled up in any way described by the Shroud venerators. I mean, the real body wasn't displayed like that. There were cloths wrapped around the body, and note this, at John 19, or Yehukanan chapter 19, it says that there were cloths wrapped around the body, and 75 pounds of myrrh and aloes. The aloes was a powdered tree product that they mixed in. But 75 pounds. You don't pick up a 75-pound bag of concrete and say, well, we're going to have to take this over there pretty far away. You don't take extra. You just take what you need, you know. But that's what they took. It must have been the heaviest single thing that they brought. They mixed this with to seal the linen wrappings. Do you see any sign of the 75 pounds of myrrh mentioned in any of the videos? The myrrh and aloes must have made up a considerable portion of the burial materials used, but only traces of molecules of myrrh are found. And it's something that's a preservative. It's not going to go away. The linen would disappear before the myrrh would. The centuries the shroud was exposed to the inside of the steeple buildings caused significant contamination to the fibers. There were all kinds of things. Among those detectable particles are candle soot, dust, pollens, and the ever-present incense, burned daily, containing copious amounts of myrrh. What's myrrh for? Well, it's been used as a medicine. It's antibacterial. The physical evidence presented to bolster the belief in the shroud's authenticity makes no sense when compared with what the scriptures plainly describe. Here's a little picture of the actual shroud cloth. There was a little strip cut away about 3 inches long and a ½ inch wide. And it's a complex herringbone weave not found in Yahusha's era, Jerusalem. It isn't found there. Not as a linen cloth used to wear by priests or to just have to bury people in occasionally. That's not what they buried them in. They buried them in priestly discarded garments. Yusuf and Nicodemus prepared Yahusha's body for burial according to traditional Yahudim procedure. The body wasn't unwashed and still bleeding and placed on one long piece of herringbone cloth, which is a complex stitch found nowhere in that environment. Burial cloths were usually or typically repurposed linen worn by the priests of the temple. The swaddling cloths mentioned in the account of Yahusha's birth were likely such repurposed linen. 2 years later, Magi from the east brought priestly gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. The gifts of a king, the gifts for a king, and the gifts for a priest, frankincense, and myrrh, a substance that's used in burials. So those are significant. I was always taught that. And it's true. It's in the scriptures. But the STURP scientists that claim they found traces of pollen and other particles under their microscopes and spectroscopes in the shroud fibers must have missed the elephant in the room. The single heaviest thing used in the burial of Yahusha, and one that would be most preserved, was the myrrh mixed with the aloes. Where did it all go? Surely you wouldn't need a spectroscopic analysis to find the presence of 75 pounds of myrrh. It would have soaked into every fiber, and you would still smell it. Myrrh is a fragrant and antibacterial substance. It induces a noticeable calming effect. Some of you who are raised Catholic might remember this. When it's burned as incense or inhaled as a vapor, and that reminds me of my many years of experiencing its drug-like effects, sitting in the circus aromatherapy rituals. People around me were in a stupor as they listened to catechetical responsory chants. The myrrh is a gift. The tree itself, the gift from the tree, and it's a very valuable one. It can be an aid to healing and has been used for many thousands of years. The shroud being displayed to the world is a hoax. The body of Yahusha that raised from the dead is not a hoax. Thanks for watching this, and we'll talk to you in the next exciting video. Bye.